Well, this is quite a story. Some critics call it anti-Muslim. Others call it fear-mongering. A new ad in the presidential race has sparked a fierce controversy about illegal immigration and terrorism. Here is the ad from Republican candidate and Congressman Tom Tancredo.
Hi, I'm Tom Tancredo, and I approve this message because someone needs to say it.
There are consequences to open borders beyond the 20 million aliens who've come to take our jobs. Islamic terrorists now freely roam U.S. soil. Jihadists who froth with hate, here to do as they have in London, Spain, Russia. The price we pay for spineless politicians who refuse to defend our borders against those who come to kill.
Wow. And joining me now, the man who approved that message, Congressman Tom Tancredo. Congressman, thank you for being with us.
Sure, it's a pleasure.
Can you see how some would feel this ad is totally over the top?
Why? What is it doing that is first of all not accurate in terms of its of the potential consequences of open borders? 4 days ago, while this ad was actually in process, the FBI put out an alert, went to every local law enforcement agent, and it said that Al-Qaeda was planning an attack on our malls, on two malls in particular, in Chicago and in Los Angeles, and that they were going to do it, they expected over Christmas break, Christmas holidays, and they said it was a credible source. Of course, this is not the first time that that's happened. But we have had testimony here in the Congress about the number of people who have come across the border, the southern border, who have actually been detained, been arrested, and found to be connected with terrorist organizations. We know that for every person that we actually detain on the border, 3 to 5 get bias. We know that I know that when I read the National Intelligence Estimate here, every once in a while when they put it out, and it's a compilation of all of our intelligence sources, that they talk about the planning that is going on every single day. Now, all I'm saying is what we know to be the case, and I'm telling people that there are consequences to the fact that we have allowed open borders and that we are allowing millions of people to remain in this country and remain here illegally.
Yet an ad like this has several different effects, some of them negative, possibly even for your campaign, but let's go through each one.
C'est la vie.
The Council on American Islamic Relations says you are, quote, obviously seeking to exploit the unfortunately rising level of anti-Muslim rhetoric in our society to promote his own political agenda. What's your response and an insinuation here you're anti-Muslim?
The Council on American Islamic Relations is an organization that has essentially associated with terrorists themselves. I wouldn't take anything they say with any degree of credibility whatsoever. In fact, the fact that they would attack it is an indicator of the potential damage that this ad does to them, and I hope it goes ahead and does a lot more damage.
I'm sorry, you were alluding the group has ties with terrorists?
Oh yes, absolutely. This is not something I'm just saying here, brand new news. This has been around for quite some time.
Okay, and whom exactly? What terrorists are you talking about?
Well, I mean, they have connections with terrorist organizations. It's been identified in the past.
Let me ask you this. First of all, we have, 12 million illegal immigrants in the country, more coming in every day.
12 to 20, yeah.
Is it misleading to focus on terrorism in this debate? In terms of, economics, culture, and rule of the law being the main issues pertaining to this debate, and also using fear like this to drive a campaign. Are you worried it could backfire?
I don't care what it does to the campaign, whether the numbers go up or the numbers go down. It is an issue with which I have been involved for a long time. It didn't just come up when I decided to do this particular commercial. As a matter of fact, I've written a book about this. It came out 1.5 years ago. It's not something that I am unfamiliar with. And why in the world it's impossible for me to consider the possibility that we would be talking about anything other than the most serious topics when we discuss immigration, certainly, and everything else. But here we are as presidential candidates talking about religious organizations, talking about schools and hospitals and the impact of immigration on them, or just education in general. All those are, I'm not saying that they're unimportant, but I am telling you that certainly the most serious topics are those that I'm trying to identify in this particular ad. The fact is, we are in a great battle. It is for Western civilization. That there is a clash of Western civilizations. This is the part that touches us, and we better understand it. You better understand exactly who your enemy is, and you have to understand who you are. What is Western civilization all about, and are we willing to defend it?
Well, you say this is the part that touches us, and it definitely touches Americans viscerally, and I think some would argue that, quite frankly, the fight that this country has led against terrorism has, quite frankly, not been one that actually may keep us safe from terrorism. And I'm wondering if an ad like this promotes this kind of conversation instead of one that some may argue we should be having in terms of how we deal with foreign nations, specifically in the Middle East, and how we put this country toward a new direction and actually keep it safe and actually work with trying to prevent the enemy from getting in, which some would say is not in Iraq.